Okay, yo, what's going on? My name is Momo, otherwise known as Thank You Momo, the artist. This is my SoundCloud, soundcloud.com/thankyoumomo. I am on every platform. Check out my shit. I sound alright, and yeah, that's my thing. So, this video, the point of it is to teach you guys how to mix, because I understand that might want this kind of content. So let's get into it. Okay, so first of all, you need a couple of things as a prerequisite. You will need Melodyne and you will need AutoTune. I use Antares AutoTune. Both of these, if you guys need it, I can tell you how to get it completely and utterly legally. Follow me on Instagram and DM me. I'll let you know how to get it. I'll send you links. So now that that's out of the way, you're also gonna go in the description. You're gonna download these two files. One of them is called Mixing Bus and one's called Extended Bus. They're FST files. They are basically mixer presets. This is the mixer in FL Studio if you've never used it before. Hopefully you've used it a little bit. So you have those plugins and you have the presets. Okay, so here's my process. First of all, what you're gonna want to do is you need a beat. So usually you go to like YouTube or something and you'll search something type beat. You feel me? You can find the type beat on YouTube or you go to beatstars.com. Usually in every description of a producer, they'll have a link to their BeatStars, or you can go directly to the source and go to BeatStars and you can find someone with the beat that you like. This is how you support them too. You buy the beat. This is a pretty important step, I guess. And if you're gonna buy it, I really suggest you get at least this. You can, work your way up to anything else or whatever, but make sure you're getting track stems because this is pretty important. This helps with mixing because when a producer makes a beat, they'll mix it by ear and they'll kind of imagine vocals, but they won't really know how you speak and everything, so they don't know like how much low end or high end is in your voice. This is all like EQ terms. Hopefully you understand what I'm talking about. Even if you don't, you'll kind of pick it up, I guess, as you make music. So you need stems because you want to mix each element of the beat in order to mesh well with your voice. Very important. It's a little more expensive. They usually range from like $50 to $100. Sometimes you can find a deal. Like I found this producer, shout out to Way Too Lost, where he had a deal where he was selling 100 beats for $100. That's what I grabbed, and they came with the stems, so I've been working on music with those. So I'm gonna assume that you have that. This works with, just MP3s or waves or whatever, if you use YouTube to MP3, but like you're not gonna get a good sounding sound from it, so at the very least you need a wave. Trust me, it's gonna sound a lot better. It's gonna be easier to mix. It's gonna sound good because your vocals are gonna be high quality, but if your beat sounds bad, it's just not gonna work. I used to work with these, then I moved on to this, and then now I work with stems. So it's like a progression thing. So let's just get started, okay? So let me just find a beat really quickly. So I have these organized in a certain way. So here are my beats. I use these beats. I have them in a certain, they're just named things. So like, look, let's go with this one, 54 Lose. So I'll just play it for a little bit really quickly. You can kind of get how that beat goes. The thing is, usually they'll have the BPM and the key already figured out for you, but sometimes they're wrong. So I'll try the one that's listed, but if the AutoTune does not sound right with this key, I'll send it through to one of these two websites. This one's Get Song Key and also tunebat.com/analyzer. Sometimes you get two different results. I used to just use TuneBat, and sometimes that one didn't even sound right. So then I found this website, and the websites, they're really good, but sometimes they'll give you an error. But hopefully we don't see that right now because that suck. And if that happens, usually it's just because you have to convert the beat to a different file format and then re-upload it. See, like that one, this didn't work. Used to have no problem with these websites. They're just a little wrong sometimes. Usually you want to just stick with what they tell you on here. So I'm not really, pitch perfect, so I can't tell if it's really E. If it says E with an M, like a lowercase m, that means E minor. If it doesn't have any letter, it just says E, that's E major. And sharp and flat. Like there's some little bit of music theory you have to know just to like understand what those mean. Let's just get started. Okay, so basically what we're gonna see, this doesn't work blocked. I think it's some type of copyright thing. Maybe it's like tagged a certain way, but whatever, who cares. If you find it on YouTube, you could download the YouTube MP3 version, send that through. That'll usually work, but okay. Here we go. We drag this thing in. It says it's 100 tempo. This is very important. This is going to make sure your delay and like your time-based effects are going to be happening on beat. It's very important. So that, and then what you want to do at this point is what I do. This is just my process. So I have a different mic that I use for recording songs. So with the first track, I'll make this the recording track. So I'll go over here and I'll change it to, you go to mono and just click the first one because you want to record in mono. It's very important to do so. So when I click it, you'll start hearing myself, which I personally don't like to do. So then I instantly click this little arrow over here that sends one to the master. So I don't have to listen to myself. It's very weird. See, you can hear myself. It's echoing. I take that off. I know that it's working because I see the thing moving as I talk. I make sure to just tap the mic once or twice, so I'm making sure that this is the mic that's working, not the one that I'm talking to currently. So okay, this is the mic that's working. I set my mic up, I move my mic arm just a little bit. My mic, I'm just using a Audio-Technica AT2020. I think it's $100. I'm using a mic arm that connects to my table. It's with a little clamp. The mic came with a pop filter. For my interface, I'm using a PreSonus Audio Box USB 96. That just converts the XLR to the USB, and the USB is plugged to the computer. On the interface, I make sure to turn on the 48 volt, the phantom power. It's a little button in the middle of it. I mess with my gain or whatever to a point where, see this, like I'm right about like -23 just talking into it or whatever, just so I have a lot of headroom, so if I start talking loudly I won't clip or whatever. Okay, so this is just recording, and when I record, I don't like to record with any effects on it. It's really nice to be able to tweak your effects, so you don't want to just record with them. At least I don't, because you really want like raw vocals, and you know, you can tweak them later. If you record with the things, if you put effects directly on one, the vocals you record will have effects on it, and then you can't really tweak it. So you can't turn down AutoTune, you can't turn down any of the effects that are in the preset. So I wouldn't recommend it. Number one, we turn it on. I don't like to listen to myself. You can listen to yourself by keeping it on, clicking this thing. I take it off. With track number 2, this is where I want the audio clips to send to, like right after I record them, and this is where all the effects start happening. So I right click this thing, I press file, I click mixing bus. This is the first one. I don't know if the bus is the right word to use here, but who cares? I have mixing bus, I have extended bus. So mixing bus goes on 2. Let that load. If you have Melodyne and you have AutoTune, you won't have errors here or whatever. You have to just, you'll see like fruity rapper. Again, DM me on Instagram. I'll let you know how to obtain it. Anyway, so when you load it in, you'll notice a couple things. You'll notice Soundgoodizer is like turned down a little bit because I don't really like it too much. It's a saturator for the voice. I'll run through everything here does, but these two are off, Melodyne and AutoTune, simply because every song is different, and I don't turn on the AutoTune right away because the key is wrong. So then I don't want to record something, I send it to number 2 and it just sounds off key. So with these effects, it just makes the vocals sound better. It doesn't add anything with the tuning or anything like that. So that's why these are automatically on. I can do more in-depth videos on Melodyne. I don't really know how to use it completely. I know how to use it somewhat, and AutoTune. So just Melodyne basically. But yeah. So first thing we do is de-esser. For de-esser, all I'm really using is this. I think it's a narrowband de-esser. It's just a de-esser for the voice. You don't have to turn it on because this is already loaded in right now. So it's a de-esser. The first EQ is a subtractive EQ. This you're gonna want to tweak based on your vocal, and I'll get into that. First limiter right here is basically making the quiet vocals louder. These two limiters are gonna balance out the vocals. So the first one is gonna take the quieter stuff and make it louder, and the second limiter is gonna make the stuff that's about to like clip or whatever and just like shrink it down a little bit. The first EQ is more of just taking off the high end that you don't need. It's gonna be, you're gonna clip it off like right around here, maybe like 13K, something like over here. Just the frequencies you don't even really hear, like 16K, maybe 17K. I don't really know. I'm not perfect at this stuff. This one, you're gonna go up to like maybe like 100. You'll see like visually with the colors where your vocal lands. Everybody's voice is a little different. This second EQ, this is the subtractive one. Basic rundown of this thing: when you record some vocals, what you want to do with these things is called sweep from 2 to 6. 1 and 7 you can keep where they are. I mean, you can change it. We could talk about that a little bit later, but you're gonna want to put these up, sweep through the vocal as it plays, and find places where it doesn't sound that good. There's gonna be like these weird noises, I guess, in the beat where it's just like muffled or like some weird like screechy shit over here maybe, and you just lock onto where that thing is. I let go once I find it, and then I click here and I drag it down. So I just cut that out, and then I find the next one. That sounded bad, so then I go down and I cut it out. I find the next one. Oh, that sounded bad right here. I cut it out. This, find it, cut it out. And and then cut it out. And I usually go to like somewhere like in this range. The more you cut out, the more harsh the cut will be. So I just do it like right around here. I don't ever go all the way down here. Sometimes if it's just pretty good and not really that badly sounding, I only cut to like right around here. So anywhere from here to like here. And this is all audio. So like this is just like what it'll look like when I do it, but everything is really subjective. It's all based on audio. And this last EQ is basically you'll do the same thing with 5 and 3, like some extra ones you wanted to cut out. Cut that out, and then number 3, we find something, we cut that out. And then these two right here, you find a place where it actually sounds like not bad, and you like frequencies you actually kind of like, and then you'll find it, oh, like this, I actually want to boost this a little bit, so I turn it down, but I keep it up, so it's going to be a boost, but it's a subtle boost. Same thing with over here, you find something that's kind of good, subtle boost. This 6 right here, you're going to move up and down in this area to like handle the sibilance. Sometimes you want to add a little bit more in like the high end, like the S's and stuff like that. You want to add some back, so that's good over there. And then, or whatever, like over here, maybe you want to take it down a little bit, but sometimes you want to add a little brightness, so I keep it up a little bit. And then on the 7, I cut it down a little bit, usually just like somewhere around here. All this is based on your ear. Again, Soundgoodizer, you use a preset that you like, and you just turn it down. It's saturating it, so you just find a sweet spot. You can turn this down. You can also turn down the entire effect, like I do sometimes over here. That's basically the mixing bus. I'll show you all this in action just in a little second. And then what's next is on 3. We're gonna go to File, and we're gonna load in Extended Bus. That's what you want to do on 3. Over here, you're going to see chorus, reverb, and delay. These are just 3 effects that I like to add to my vocals. This is all for melodic rap. Basically, with chorus, you find a preset that you like. I don't know which preset this is. I think it might be like CE chorus or one of these, I don't really know, but I usually just find one that I like. I can just scroll through these, I click through them, stuff like that, find one that sounds pretty okay, and then I just drag this down so it's like less noticeable, sometimes I don't want a lot of it in there. The reverb, you basically, all you really want to do here is mess with the low and the high cuts. That's what I do. So the high cut, the more of this you have, the more high you're gonna have in your vocal, and the more of this you have, the more low you're gonna have in your, this is in the reverb, sorry. So the high, I want a lot of high in the reverb, so I add a lot of high maybe, and I want a little bit of low, so I have it about there. This is all by ear again. And then when I get a good little setting that I like, I drag this down a lot, because you don't really want this to be noticeable. You want this to be like under 20, like maybe over like 9 to 20, maybe something very subtle. Delay, same thing here. The time signature right here this is a 1/8 delay. I sync it to the tempo. This is just a basic kind of delay. You can mess with it. You can turn it to each one of these, see which one sounds the best for your vocal. But I usually keep it around here. I mess with the level a little bit. I mess with the wet a little bit. And again, with this one, I turn this down a lot. Like I make this at like 6 or something like that, and I'll make like the wet even lower. I'll turn this down. I really don't want this to be too noticeable. And after all that's said and done, I right click the delay and I click create automation clip, and see it's already at 6%. So I'll right click, I'll copy the first note, and I will literally go to like, I turn it down, and then at the end of each line, or where I want the delay to come up, I will make another addition. I'll make another note, and then I'll make another note, and then I'll make another one, and then I'll paste the value. Let me zoom in so you kind of see what I'm doing here. Paste the value here, and I'll paste the value here, and I'll literally make the delay only happen for a short amount of time, and I'll turn it off again, and you can change how divided these bars are, just so the delay just doesn't keep going on over and over and over and over. So like I like to sync it to where I want the delay, and then I cut it off immediately when I don't want it anymore, so it's less muddy overall in the mix. I'll do that later. So let's go ahead and record vocals, and let's actually show you the stuff in process. So let me come up with something real fast, and I'll cut to where I already have something, kind of. Okay, before I actually start recording and everything, I want to do one more thing. I double click this thing, and I click track to send this to the nearest track, and I want to turn it down. So this, I just send it to a buzz. Later we're gonna actually just erase this and actually put in the stems, but that's later. So I'm gonna come back when I actually have something. Okay, so I think I have a line in my head that I want to say, and I'll punch in. So this is how I punch in. I click number 1, I click record, and I click audio into the playlist, and it'll count me, and I start like 4 bars back. So I'll go like, tell me if you really want to press spacebar, I'm done. So you don't want to press space too early, because if you press it too early, you'll cut off the end of it. So that was a good place to do it. I double click the audio, I press normalize just to make it explode, just make it really loud, and I will send it to 2 instantly, right? Then I turn off recording because I want to listen to it. And at this point, what I want to do is, if you press Alt and drag this thing, you can drag it independent of the snapping to grid or whatever. And sometimes there's a little latency, so I want to push it back, but you'll do this by ear again. So I'll press play and I'll listen to it.
Bars bags.
Okay, so I'll cut off this because this is just me talking shit. I can see it already sounded a little loud, so I'll turn that down. And I'll turn the AutoTune on here. This is what the vocal just sounds like without AutoTune.
Tell me if you really wanna go.
So that has no AutoTune, but do you see how it already sounds a little crisp? If I turn off all the effects, this is what it's gonna sound like.
Tell me if you really wanna go. Tell me if you really wanna go.
You could already see how it sounds a little better. So I'll turn on the AutoTune now, and again, this is why it's really important to like label the stuff in the beats, the titles, so you can just see and not have to check up anywhere. So I'll go to E and minor, because the M means minor. And the settings for this basically go as, I have no vibrato here, so all these settings don't really matter at all, anything in this box. Main thing you want to do is you want to change your input type. I use soprano, some people do low male, whatever. Keep this at 50. Turn on low latency sometimes, I really, whatever, who cares. Everything here should just be the same. I don't think you have to change anything here. Everything you really want to change is the retune speed. Me, I love AutoTune. I love the way it sounds. I like it sounding as robotic as possible. I don't give a fuck. So I keep it at 0. Some people, they want to have less AutoTune, so you click and drag down and up to change this thing. So some people want to have like 0 to like 20. It basically does the same thing, like how noticeable it is, how much humanizing you want. So I want no humanizing. I don't want any of this natural vibrato shit. I turn it to 0. I think it already stays at 0. 0, 0, 0. Everything's 0. I like everything 0. This is how it sounds like.
Tell me if you really wanna go.
So that's the AutoTune. I could tell you it's on beat. My voice does make some like little cracks sometimes, so that little bit. I honestly, I think it sounds alright. I don't really change it. I just
tell me if you really wanna go.
So I think that sounds pretty good. With Melodyne, actually, I save Melodyne for the very end, because Melodyne involves you having to like record into Melodyne with all the files. So I do at the very end. So I'll do like 4 lines, 4 bars, and then I'll do Melodyne, and I'll show you. And this is what you're gonna want to do for the entire song. So let's come up with something else. So okay, the next line is not really gonna rhyme, but like it'll rhyme later on. So whatever. I try to keep this as stream of consciousness as I can. So if you fuck up, I'll just do another recording real quick. Okay, I fucked up, pretend. I press Control Z because I want to undo the recording, and by doing that, it won't save it over here in like the audio clips. So I press Control Z, it'll be like, do you want it to be, it'll be deleted, no redo, and you can't redo this. So if it's actually trash, do this. If it's not, right click it, take it off the thing, keep it there. But I Control Z and I press spacebar to click OK. So that's just streamlined. You feel me? I just want to do that shit really fast. So when you record, especially if you're gonna punch in, make sure you layer this part. So I'll say this line again and then say my next line. This helps with, one, making it sound consistent, because when you're saying this with this, you're gonna match the volume and then you're gonna just continue on. It's gonna sound pretty good. And 2, because you want to match the latency. So like when you sing it with it, and when this thing actually, the second part actually gets recorded and you could see it coming in a little too late, you'll alt click and drag it so these lines line up, and then you just cut off this line. So I'll show you now.
Tell me if you really wanna go.
We can go anywhere you wanna. Okay, perfect. So after I'm done, I press spacebar, I double click it, I normalize it, I send it to 2, exit out, turn off the recording, I hold control and I roll in to just zoom in. And do you see this latency already? Like, you can tell this shit's coming in a little late. Especially, easy thing to see is the big transients. That's like the big ass blob. So this big blob is a little bit after this big blob over here. Same thing with everything else. Second thing, like you can see like this sharp click right here. This is probably me saying a hard consonant. And you can see how it's over here, and this hard consonant, you can tell it's over here. You can zoom in and see it. So it's a little late. So I'll use any one of these indicators to see where I'm supposed to, this is where I'm supposed to be, this is where I'm at. So I'll alt click this one and I'll line it up. Sometimes if you can press alt and click this thing to move it off the grid too. So I'll just use this as a ruler. So I'll put this over here, and then I'll alt click this too, and then bam. You see, like this is lined up. And then at this point, since this is gonna sound doubled, I really don't want that. I will clip this off, and I use Alt to make sure I want to fine tune it. And you want to go up to this, like up to here, because I don't keep my breaths. I cut all my breaths out. Especially if you're gonna do 2 lines at once, I use this thing and I cut off, and I use Alt Shift click, and I'll do it over here or whatever, pretend this is like the space between the next line, and then I'll just delete this and I'll use Alt to just like cut it to size. Sometimes you want to keep a little bit because sometimes you're actually like moving your mouth here. That's what I do. But just like over here, I'll go up to like right here maybe. This is like a noise that's not part of the song. I can just tell, and I just cut that off. So that's how much I want to keep. So then if we listen to it,
Tell me if you really wanna go. We can go anywhere you wanna.
see, perfect. One more thing I didn't do yet, but you will need to do this, is see, this is all sending to 2, and you can tell that 2 is turned on.
Tell me if you really wanna.
3 is not being used yet. So this number 2, what you want to do, see how it sends itself to the master. That's why you can actually hear it. Everything that goes to the master is what's being heard. What you want to do is you click on 2, you make sure you're on selected on 2, and you can tell because this is where this opening arrow will start. That's what you're selected. You want to right click on 3's arrow in, and you want to click route to this track only. What this is going to do is it's going to take off wherever it was previously routed, like to the master, and it will send it to the one you selected. So 2 will route to this track, 3 only. So 2 goes to 3 only, and 3, of course, just like everything else, goes to the master. So 2 does not go to the master anymore. So if I turn off 3 and I press play, you hear no sound. There's no sound because 2 goes nowhere. It goes to 3, and then 3 is off. But once 3 is back on, this circuit actually completes. 2 goes to 3, 3 goes to the master. Master means you can hear it. So now that this is actually connected here, what the point of this is 3 has extra effects here, and these effects right here are your chorus, reverb, and delay. And this is where you're gonna tweak the stuff to your liking, and this is where you start hearing it.
We can go anywhere you wanna.
You can tell it's there a little bit. You can hear that, see that resonance after it's done. When I press spacebar, you'll hear it. You hear that little echo at the end? See, without it, look, if I turn off the effects of here, complete dead stop. With it on, wait. You can hear that, and without it, okay, noticeable. We hear that. Okay, let me do 2 more lines, and we will just get started with the like tweaking. Okay, I got a little line here.
We can go anywhere you wanna.
Down the street, pick up something from the stove. Got it. So now I double click it, normalize, go to 2, turn it off. Line up these transients, big boys, you feel me? So this is a little different because I didn't start the line right away. I started singing it from here, so this first part's not gonna help us at all. But at the end, you can see, so big boy, small boy. You see that? Small boy, big boy. So you see where they connect, and that's where we change it. You see this line matches up with this line. So I'll use this thing as a ruler. I'll go like that because, again, this is the right one, this is the right one, this is the wrong one. It alternates like that. So you make sure you line it up with the right one. So this guy needs to move. So we are going to go here, and we are going to line these guys up. And sometimes it's give or take. Sometimes you want to go a little here, especially if it's not like dead set, like maybe right here. Maybe you want to like center it. Maybe you want to actually align it to the right, whatever. This is what it sounds like together, and I'll clip off of it later.
We can go anywhere you wanna.
See, like it sounds a little off, so I'll like maybe go to the left a little bit like that.
We can go anywhere you wanna.
This is all to here.
We can go anywhere you wanna. We can go anywhere you wanna. We can go anywhere you wanna.
Right?
We can go anywhere you wanna.
That sounds the best. So then I'll clip off this bit, and I'll go Alt to make it really fine cut, and maybe like this, cut this off a little bit.
We can go anywhere you wanna. Down the street, pick up something from the stove.
Fucking sick. It sounds sick, guys, doesn't it? It sounds fucking sick. Okay, so now let's go do one more line. Betty with a goodie and a 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 hoodie with a goodie and a hoodie and a goodie and a hoodie, got a hoodie and a bomb. Okay, I'm just gonna go with it. Oh, this is a very common thing. This is when I fuck up, and I wish I could stop hearing myself as I explain this, but I didn't select the right thing before pressing record. So what you do is press OK, you click none, and I press stop as soon as that starts going. I fucked up because basically I was on track 4 and I press record, and that just lets me know that I was on the wrong track. So I stop it, I go back to 1, I turn this off and I turn it back on, and I press audio into playlist clip. That's simple. If that ever happens, that's what you do. You just do that. You press none, stop it, go back to the right one, and start recording. You won't have the error again.
Down the street, pick a song from the store.
Patty with a goodie in a hoodie with a bomber. Okay, did that. Normalize. 2, turn this off, zoom in a bit, let's find a good little spot. I think I recorded really fast, so like let's move it forward. Bam, cut it off, bam, cut it off, maybe to like right there, why not? And I already put it on track 2, perfect, and let's just listen to it.
Down the street, pick a song from the store. Patty with a goodie in a hoodie with a bomber.
Okay, cool, whatever. Okay, when your whole song is done, what I usually do at that point, I just click each individual clip that's like on different layers, and I'll press shift up to move it to the same thing. So like if this was like the hook, I'll put like the verses down here. And with songs like this, usually you want to do double the length, so you want to have like up to here for a whole hook. Because you found the right tempo, you can literally copy it. So like if you see that, like if I delete these, actually, if I go this and I go to like bar, I go like this and I press shift and I drag it, you see how this is an exact copy of it? It'll be lined up, so this is gonna sound on beat.
Tell me if you really wanna go. We can go anywhere you wanna. Down the street, pick a song from the store. Patty with a goodie in a hoodie with a bomber. Tell me if you really wanna go. We can go anywhere you wanna. Down the street, pick a song from the store. Patty with a goodie in a hoodie with a bomber.
Okay, we'll do that right now because this is just a lazy version, and I don't know, it sounds pretty good though. So these are the 4 recordings, we're good. Okay, so now here's where we start tweaking shit. Okay, so we go to 2. Okay, we'll use Melodyne. We'll just show you how Melodyne works. This thing, basically, this line will go with wherever you're at. Another thing I learned recently, open up the effect or whatever. If you don't want it to go away, you click this and you press detached. So now I can go back to the playlist and you'll see, look, okay, it's gonna stay up. But like, do you see this? You see how it moves with this thing? Okay, so that's just important to know. So over here, what you're gonna do is, first of all, actually, let's go back here. Let's find the key, because sometimes this thing is wrong. So E minor. So let's minimize this. You click here and you write in E minor. Cool. Then you press transfer. You start this. You make sure you start this where it hasn't started yet. And you since this thing is transferring, it's gonna start recording. So you press play and you'll see the notes fill up.
Tell me if you really wanna go. We can go anywhere you wanna. Down the street, pick a song from the store. Patty with a goodie in a hoodie with a bomber. Tell me if you really wanna go. We can go anywhere you wanna. Down the street, pick a song from the store. Patty with a goodie in a hoodie with a bomber.
Press spacebar and perfect. Occasionally, if you have a really long file, it might not do this and it'll show everything as one note. And what you do there is you change the algorithm to melodic standard. Sometimes it'll go to like percussive because it just thinks that it's percussive. AI it's not smart, and yeah, that's just the AI diss track. So like, okay, that happens. Whatever, you go melodic. Okay, so this is it. This is the note information. You see how like it copies? It's just the same thing because I repeated it, so it goes like da 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 da. Okay, perfect. So what you do is you press edit. You go to select all, right? And since this is on E minor, this is going to be on pitch or whatever. You go to the second tool, pitch tool, and you can drag the notes, whatever, whatever. But what I just do is, because lazy man's route, you're on the pitch tool. You go to any one of these notes. You can zoom in and see it better. I'll zoom in like this just so you can see really closely. And just anywhere in the middle of a note, just double click. This will lock it to the key that you had. And really important here that the Melodyne is the first thing in the effects rack. So basically, it'll get the raw vocal and Melodyne will be activated first. So when it was recording there, it recorded, even though we heard the AutoTune, it recorded it without AutoTune. So you want Melodyne to attack the vocals first, and then AutoTune's gonna add onto it, and Maximus, de-essing, all that shit's gonna happen afterwards. So now, like, if you turn off AutoTune, you'll see it's on beat, but it doesn't have that AutoTune like swagger to it, like that little special flavor, that little robotic shit. Just listen to it.
Tell me if you really wanna go. We can go anywhere you wanna. Down the street, pick a song from the store. Patty with a goodie in a hoodie with a bomber. Tell me if you really wanna go. We can go anywhere you wanna. Down the street, pick a song from the store. Patty with a goodie in a hoodie with a bomber.
I said in a hoodie with a bomber, but I could see how somebody would think I said with Obama. And if someone's in the comments gonna be like, with Obama, and it's gonna be funny, but whatever, who cares? That's not what I said. Shut up, you're bullying me. I'm just kidding. Okay, so yeah, that's just Melodyne. So now we turn on AutoTune, and now it's gonna have a little swagger.
Tell me if you really wanna go. We can go anywhere you wanna. Down the street, pick a song from the store. Patty with a goodie in a hoodie with a bomber. wanna. Down the street, pick up something from the stove. Patty with a goodie and a hoodie with a bomber.
Okay, so now here's something that's actually really important to know here is that when you record something into Melodyne, basically all the audio you're hearing, my vocals or whatever, is coming from Melodyne. This is why you do this at the very end, because if I went ahead and added some more lyrics, because the lyrics aren't in Melodyne, if you had press play, you would not hear anything. So I remember I was so confused when I first used Melodyne, and I was like, why can't I hear vocals? Why can't I hear vocals? It's because if it hasn't been transferred to Melodyne and you started using Melodyne, you won't hear anything. Like, I'm pretty sure if you turn on Melodyne in the beginning of the session and you don't have anything in there and you start recording, and then you set it to 2, you won't hear anything, because if Melodyne is on, it'll basically hijack the whole thing. So Melodyne is the source here. So I can go to the mute thing and I'll mute all these tracks, and look, you still hear it.
Tell me if you really wanna go.
You can hear that, right? So that's really important to know. You can literally delete these fucking keys at the end of the day if you without it. But like the thing is, see, look, if I muted it though, and then I turned off Melodyne, nothing. Okay. We understand. Came to an understanding. Okay. So that's that. That's Melodyne. That's this thing. Okay, so Melodyne's done. Maximus, what you really want to do here, I really do here is, first of all, let me take out the detaching here. So with this thing, what I usually do is I just fuck with the curve of this thing if I really want to. The de-essing. This is the de-esser. It takes away sibilance.
Tell me if you really wanna go. We can go anywhere you wanna.
I don't know if you can hear much of a difference, but there's a little bit of a difference. Another thing I do is I will sometimes, if it's really harsh in the highs, I'll turn down, this is the highs and this is the lows, like an EQ, and I'll just fuck with it like that. See, like,
tell me if you really wanna go. We can go anywhere you wanna. Down the street, pick up something from the stove. Patty with a goodie and a hoodie with a bomber.
Okay, cool, perfect. So Melodyne, check. Maximus, check. AutoTune, check. EQ 1. This is important. This is very important. So when I play it, you will hear, look, you'll see.
Tell me if you really wanna go.
Okay, do you see how it starts being bright around here?
Tell me if you really wanna go.
So this stuff right here is kind of like not that important, I'd say. Like, it really isn't. So what I do is you can roll the wheel to make this like less harsh or whatever. So I'll roll it up to make it like more of a flatter curve.
Tell me if you really.
If you ever want to change it back, you can right click and reset it. So look, I'll do a harsh cut to here and you'll see the difference in sound. Just maybe you might hear it, you might not, but I'll show you like examples.
Tell me if you really wanna go.
See, I cut off a lot of the low, but the thing is, I heard from this one mixing guy who mixed for like Frank Ocean, like he was talking about how the low end really is like the soul of the song, so he likes to keep in a lot of low end, and you know that is probably me keeping more low end. Like I used to just cut up to here because I wanted to sound fucking manufactured and fucking, you know, really fucking whoa, so crispy. But then I decided to start like not cutting as hard, so like I'll mix it to my ear and then you kind of just follow my steps maybe.
Tell me if you really wanna go. We can go anywhere you wanna. Down the street, pick up something from the stove. Patty with a goodie and a hoodie with a bomber.
I like it there. I like it there. It's my ear. It sounds good to me. Again, this is my preferences. I've been mixing for like 6 years. Okay. YouTube University, that's my credentials. Okay, so and then this one, the high end. See, what you want to do usually is go really drastic and then like subtract the drasticity. I invented that. Okay, so basically, let me press play.
Tell me if you really wanna go.
You see how that no low end, how that sounds? So yeah.
Tell me if you really wanna go. We can go.
And another thing you should know is that from like 0 to 30, and I forgot the number here, but it's like really high to like the end of it, you can't even hear with your ears. It just makes it sound muddy. It ruins it for everything else. Just a party pooper. So you don't want the really high and the really low. Okay.
Tell me if you really wanna go.
So you want to do a little bit. You don't want everyone to do this or that, always the other end.
Tell me if you really wanna go. We can go anywhere you wanna. Down the street, pick up something from the.
This depends on your headphones, and like even if you have shitty headphones, you can mix. I hate when people be like, you can't mix with shitty headphones. Like if you mixed for a while and you've heard how your mixes translate to other speakers, like if you've listened to it in cars, different speakers, you kind of understand how this shit's gonna sound. Like I don't use the best fucking headset. I use a decent headset. I use a fucking gaming headset. It's not even a fucking mixing headset. And like, don't let people tell you, man. Just at least make sure you're listening on different platforms, and make sure it still sounds good. Just recognize the correlation. That's the big thing. you mix it a certain way, it sounds really good. Sometimes I have 2 pairs of headphones, so sometimes like I would like switch the headphones. I'd be like, let me go to this other pair of headphones and like let me see how it sounds there, and find a sweet spot where it sounds good on both headphones. If you have 2 sets of speakers, you should do that. If you have like other shit, you know what I'm saying, in your house that you can play it off of speakers and shit like that, play it off that speaker. I mean, you might have to bounce it. I don't know if you can connect it to your computer, but like somehow listen to it on multiple different ways and see like how like, okay, so when I hear it on the headphones, the fucking high end is fucking it sounds good because I mixed it on the headphones, but then when I play on the speaker, I hear way too much high end. So obviously the headphones is like dampening the high ends, like you're not getting the real high end sound. So you're like, okay, bet, let me mix with that in mind and let me cut off some high end because it sounds shitty everywhere else. That's the type of shit that you have to be thinking. You have to think about, you have to reverse engineer from bad sound to good sound. So okay, this is where I like it. It sounds good enough to me. Okay, next, the limiter. This guy, you don't really need to change him a lot. He's all right. We're just gonna leave him alone. We're gonna leave the other limiter alone. This is what the difference in sound without the limiters.
Tell me if you really wanna go.
And I'll turn them on.
Tell me if you really wanna go.
That's the first one. See how the lows became higher?
Tell me if you really wanna go.
This just helps to balance out. These are good. You can leave those alone. All right. This guy, EQ in the middle. This guy's a clutch guy. This guy is like Curry. He's fucking surgical with this shit. Okay. So what you want to do here is you'll hear it. Okay. You'll hear what I'm doing here as I do it. I'll detach this shit. I'll play it and then I'll show you what I'm doing.
Tell me if you really wanna go.
So you see how I dragged it all the way up? This is important. You're going to sweep through here and you're going to find a shitty sounding ass frequency. And when we lock onto one, we'll hear it and I'll stop. Okay.
Tell me if you really wanna go. We can go anywhere you want.
Okay, do you hear that? You hear that little... You hear that shit?
Tell me if you really wanna go.
I'll turn off the beat so you can hear better.
Tell me if you really wanna go.
You hear all that extra weird shit? Yeah, you found one. That's a stinker. And when you find that, you leave it alone. You see how it's at 203 hertz, whatever the fuck, 202 hertz, 202 hertz. Yeah, you leave it there, and then you click from here because you don't want to adjust it. You don't want to put it down by yourself because sometimes you might, I might go a little to the left, a little to the right. You might not have perfect aim, right? So you click here because this correlates to this one, of course. You cut it.
Tell me if you really wanna go.
See?
Tell me if you.
I'll do the rest of this without the beat on, so, cause you know whatever, it's easier to hear.
Tell me if you really wanna go.
Okay, now we go to 3. We'll do it for 2 to 6.
Tell me if you really wanna go.
You hear that weird shit?
Tell me if you.
We don't like that, so we cut that out.
Tell me if you really wanna.
Ooh, sounding better. It's gonna sound fucking HD, my nigga. At the end of this.
Tell me if you really wanna go.
Sometimes if it's really close to each other, like it might just 3 might be cutting this out, so I don't need to put 4 here. But also you can also roll this up to make it a little wider. But I don't like doing this a lot because it makes it like too harsh. But like, see, it goes from 0 to 5. You can also just change this. Oops, not this guy. I'll turn that back to 0. This guy, I can make it like that. You know, like 2. This is how you change the tension. Okay, so let's go here.
Tell me if you really wanna go.
I don't like that, so I cut that out.
Tell me if you really wanna go.
Again, found something.
Tell
I don't
me
like
if
that.
you really wanna. Tell me if you really wanna go.
I hate that.
We
Take
can
that
go.
out. Perfect. Now we do the same thing with this guy over here with 5 and 3.
Tell me if you really wanna go. We can go anywhere you want.
I like to keep this shit over on the right side of the thing. That's where usually these because like you usually cut out the low ones early on with that thing. The right needs a little bit of love, so that's why you add these 2.
Tell me if you really wanna go.
Okay, right there. Cut that out. Perfect. Now
Tell
this is where we boost some good guys. So I just.
Tell me if you really wanna go.
I like that. I like that noise right here.
Tell me if you really wanna. Tell me if you really wanna go.
Sometimes I keep the beat on for this part because I want to hear like how it's gonna sound with the beat. So like I find a frequency that sounds good with the beat. Oh, this guy needs to get detached.
Tell me if you really want. Tell me if you really wanna go. Tell me if you really wanna go. Tell me if you really.
That's good. That's a good frequency, and I'll keep like this and like see little bumps. Little bumps go a long way. This is where we fuck with the highs though.
Tell me if you really wanna go. We can go anywhere you wanna. Down the street, pick up something from the store. Ready with a goodie in a hoodie with a bomber. Tell me if you really wanna go. We can go anywhere you want.
Add a little brightness to it, you feel me? And then this 7 we cut it off or bring it out.
Tell me if you really wanna go. We can go anywhere you wanna. Down the street, pick up something from the store. Ready with a goodie in a hoodie with a bomber.
Okay, so now we got the EQs. Now we go to Soundgoodizer. You feel me? This is where the saturation comes. You choose a preset you like. I'll show you.
Tell me if you really wanna go. We can go anywhere you wanna. Down the street, pick up something from the stove.
I think beat sounds good with my voice sometimes, so I just.
Tell me if you really wanna go. We can go anywhere you wanna. Down the street, pick up something from the stove. Ready with a goodie in a hoodie with a bomber. Tell me if you really wanna go. We can go anywhere you wanna. Down the street, pick up something from the stove. Ready with a goodie.
Sick, dude. So sick. Okay, so now we go over here to the chorus. I'll turn this all the way up.
Tell me if you really wanna go. We can go anywhere you wanna. Down the street, pick up something from the stove. Ready with a
Default sounds okay, whatever.
Tell me if you really wanna go. We can go anywhere you wanna. Down the street, pick up something from the stove. Ready.
Cool. So now the reverb, we'll turn this all the way up so you can see the dramaticnism. And basically for the high and low, we'll just cut it down a little bit.
Tell me if you really wanna go.
Look at it.
Tell me if you really.
So,
Tell me if you really wanna go. Tell me if you really wanna go. We can go anywhere you wanna. Down the street, pick up something from the stove. Ready with a goodie in a hoodie with a bomber.
I'll turn on the bass too.
Tell me if you really wanna go. We can go anywhere you wanna. Down the street, pick up.
Okay, so that sounds okay, but I want it way the fuck down.
Tell me if you really wanna go. We can go anywhere you wanna. Down the street, pick up something from the stove. Ready with a goodie in a hoodie with a bomb.
I think A sounds okay. So now let's turn on the reverb.
Tell me if you really wanna go.
I'll show you how it sounds with the high.
Tell me if you really wanna go. We can go anywhere you wanna. Down the street, pick up something from the stove.
Oops. Oh, so this is a problem right here. So you see how when I do this and it reverts back to 0? Why that is because when I set up that first little demo thing, it made this thing called the initialize control. You find it in current projects, patterns, initialize control. You see this thing? You want to delete this. Because it'll just basically like say like, yo, I'll never delete. And you don't want that. You want that shit to delete. You feel me? When you want to delete it. Just the keys. Major key.
Tell me if you really wanna go. We can go anywhere you wanna. Down the street, pick up something from the stove. Ready with a goodie in a hoodie.
Let's not cut it down low because I don't want a lot.
Tell me if you really wanna go. We can go anywhere you wanna. Down the street, pick up something from the stove. Ready with a goodie in a hoodie with a bomber. Tell me if you really wanna go. We can go anywhere you wanna. Down the street, pick up something from the stove. Ready with a goodie in a hoodie with a bomber. Tell me if you really wanna go. We can go anywhere you wanna. Down the street, pick up something from the stove. Ready with a goodie in a hoodie with a bomber. Tell me if you really wanna go.
Oh, that sounds okay to me. All right, so that's basically that. So now we'll do the delay fucking shebang thing. So we go to right click it, we on the little wheel, go to create automation clip. I'll copy this value right here. That's where we want it to be. Turn it down. Turn it down. This is for your whole song, but like for me, all I really want is this bit. So I'll cut it. Go to like there maybe. So like we keep it 0, right? We keep it G, we keep it play, first key point there, and then we want to. Okay, I'll change this from bar to like beat. So then I'll go up here, and turn it down again. So I'll paste it at the high. So it goes to 6 6 0, right? And then we'll do that for after every 4 bars. So like you see that, this right here is really close. So I don't want to have a delay there, and then over here we might have it because there's a little space. Over here, make 1, go there, just turn it down to 0. Again, I don't want to not do anything there. Wait, should I do that? Yeah, I should do it because it's the first guy. Here, bam, bam. Wait, what? Wait, delete the shit. 6, right? Yeah. Oop, delete that guy. Okay. All right, that's pretty player, guys. And so I'll do it at the very end too. Sickening. So now we will cut it off. I'll cut it from here because sometimes it might just think that it goes on forever if you cut it right next to the thing. So whatever, that's cool. Put that there. That's fucking epicness. Okay, so
Tell me if you really wanna go. We can go anywhere you wanna. Down the street, pick up something from the stove. Ready with a goodie in a hoodie with a bomber. Tell me if you really wanna go. We can go anywhere you wanna. Down the street, pick up something from the stove. Ready with a goodie in a hoodie with a bomber.
Fucking epic, guys. That was so swag. Now I made a melodic rap song. Super sick. Okay, so now here's a couple extra pointers real quick. You feel me? Let's minimize this shit. Okay, so now you see how this beat right here, all we can do is change the volume. It's kind of good, kind of whatever. So this beat right here, I have the stems for it. So okay, here are my stems. So when you put in stems, what you want to do is first you have to extract it to a folder. You can't use like WinRAR and just drag it straight in. It won't work like that. So what you want to do is, okay, anything that sounds sometimes some things have nothing in it. You'll find that out later, but like you don't want to put in a master or the current, because those are just basically the beat again, and you don't want to have double up the beats. So if you can control click everything except for current and master. And what I do, I'll just honestly delete this guy because I don't really need him anymore. Just kick him to the curb. Okay, and then delete this guy because I don't like the name. Okay, so now I'll drag all these files and I go starting from here. Perfect. So now let's get down a little bit. Let's select all of them, bring it to the beginning, and make sure everything has sound in it that we're keeping. Bam, 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 bam. Everything looks kind of good. Perfect. Okay, so now all my instruments are here. There's no extra files. This is all very efficient. What we want to do here is basically we'll go to your step sequencer over here. You feel me? Stop step sequencer. Sorry, that was cringe. You see all these, they're all color coded. You can see it because these are the files. These are the files over here. If you don't see them, you go over here. You can go to audio, or you can click. You can see it in all. You can see it in audio. You won't see it in unsorted, but you'll see it in whatever audio. You click this light over here and you hold it and you drag down and make sure all of them are selected just like that. Then you go to your effects rack. And we'll start it from here because we don't need this guy anymore. This file number 4 used to be the beat, and we don't need this anymore. Right click here, channel routing, and you do starting from this track. Route selected channel starting from this track. Watch this. Bam. Everything is here. You feel me? But this name is wrong. So I'll right click this. I'll click default, and I'll get this first guy. This edit weight. Make sure it's only this light that's selected. Right click it, channel routing. Bam. Now everything's perfect. The beat's gonna sound loud as hell because we didn't change the volumes yet. But here, I'll play it. Oof, that was loud. That hurt my ears. You can control, click, and hold and select a lot of them at the same time. So we'll just drag them all down a little bit.
Tell me if you really wanna go.
This is the sick shit that happens when you have fucking stems. So here's what we do. We'll start with a layer at a time. So the vocals are good. We'll leave those on, but we'll start with let's turn off these guys. Turn off everything else. First guy. This is the 808, right? First thing, 808 spins. Okay, so let's go. Let's listen.
Tell me if you really wanna go. We can go anywhere you wanna. Down the street, pick up something from the stove.
I like it there. So now we're going to the next instrument.
Tell me if you really wanna.
Boom, boom. You hear that?
Tell me if you really wanna go. We can go anywhere you wanna. Down the street, pick up something from the stove. Ready with a goodie in a hoodie with a bomber.
I like that. Okay, let's go next one.
Tell me if you really wanna go. Tell me if you really wanna go. Tell me if you really wanna go. Tell me if you really wanna go.
This is mixed in. You're gonna hear a lot of the same words over and over again, but you know, you learn to love it.
Tell me if you really wanna go. We can go anywhere you wanna. Down the street, pick up something from the stove. Ready with a goodie in a hoodie with a bomber.
Sick.
Tell me if you really wanna go. We can go anywhere you wanna. Down the street, pick up something from the stove. Ready with a goodie in a hoodie with a bomb.
It's very slight movements, but it helps.
Tell me if you really wanna go. We can go anywhere you wanna. Down the street, pick up something from the stove. Ready with a goodie in a hoodie with a.
So for this part, you really have to listen to a lot of music and like listen to these like things and like pick out these things in your ear when you hear like popular music. You feel me? This is the melody.
Tell me if you really wanna go. We can go anywhere you wanna. Down the street, pick up something from the stove. Ready with a goodie in a hoodie with a bomber.
What's this guy?
Tell me if you really wanna go.
This is the open hat.
Tell me if you really wanna go. Tell me if you really wanna go. Tell me if you really wanna go.
I replay the same thing over and over again because I just want to hear that sound.
You really wanna go, you really wanna go, you really wanna go, you really wanna go.
Let's go to the next thing, the snare
Really
sizzle.
wanna go.
You see it turns on right there.
That
sounds good to me. What's this next guy? The tabla. I don't know what that is.
we can go anyway, 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 we can go anyway.
Okay, I like that. Sounds good. Now you listen to the whole thing. And if you control right click anywhere, open, it'll zoom out to where everything's visible.
Tell me if you really wanna go. We can go anywhere you wanna. Down the street, pick up something from the stove. Body with a goodie and a hoodie with a bomber. Tell me if you really wanna go. We can go anywhere you wanna. Down the street, pick up something from the stove. Body with a goodie and a hoodie with a bomber.
Epic. So that's like, pretend that's my whole song. I'll basically, I'll cut off the beat maybe like 2 more measures out. So if you hold shift and you click, I'd slice it like right there, all of it, and I click that tool and right click everything, cut it off. That's my song. But like again, you want to do this once you have everything recorded. You feel me? So for me, since I'm actually gonna be continuing this, I'll continue this shit and I'll start recording more. I'll turn off Melodyne because I won't be able to hear shit. And then after I'm done and actually want to use Melodyne again, I click Melodyne and I will press select all. And I'll actually press delete off my keyboard because I don't want this anymore. And I will start at the top and I'll transfer again from the whole thing through. And this is for everything. So basically anything that's on insert 2 will be transferred into Melodyne. So that's why you only want your vocals here. You know what I'm saying? If you want ad-libs and shit like that and you don't want them to get hit with the Melodyne or these effects or something like that, you want to or whatever, I don't know, something for some reason you want to put it on a different track, you need to do Melodyne for that track if you want Melodyne. Yeah, sometimes if you want, you can also like, okay, so to move mixer things back and forth or whatever, you can shift and then roll up. You see I'm moving this up and I can move it over here. So basically if I really like wanted to, you want your ad-libs to have the same reverb and delay usually as the rest of your song, you know, unless you want to do like some crazy, like some Travis Scott shit where you have like way too much reverb. If that's the case, this next part doesn't apply to you, but if for the most part you want to just have your ad-libs in the same pocket but you just want to like have them low and shit like that, you can route all your vocals or whatever to this 4, which has the delay and reverb. So pretend this guy, right? This is the blank guy. So pretend I record some ad-libs or some shit like that, and with this one another thing, pretend I want to record ad-libs, right? I'm gonna use 3 for my ad-lib layer. 2 is already my main vocal. So what I do, I'd right click this, I go to file, and then on save mixer track, I click and hold it, and then I can drag it on 3 because this has nothing on it. You can tell it has nothing on it because it has no effects because this light isn't on. It should be orange, but it had something on it like effects. I'd click and I drag it onto 3. And it'll copy everything from 2 to 3, like the effects, the volume, everything except where it's routing to. This thing will still be routing out here. So what I can do with 3 is I can right click over here, route to this track only. So 2 and 3 are like clones of each other and they're all going to 4. But 3 has nothing on it. So 3, I could record ad-libs over here, you know, start recording, like click record. And then I could send it, I could, you know what I'm saying, for the ad-lib layer. If this was the ad-lib layer, I'd send it to 3 instead of 2. And I could fuck with the volume, you feel me? And I'll turn the volume down maybe, and it still have the same reverb and stuff, but this is the ad-lib layer now. So all my ad-libs go to 3, and I'll have all the effects except Melodyne. That's why I turn off Melodyne, because Melodyne is very confusing. It'll literally save everything. Like, look, this is a copied Melodyne, and it'll still have the information from this Melodyne. You feel me? So you got to really make sure Melodyne is happening at the end. If anything didn't make sense, leave a comment. I'll fucking answer it maybe if I know the answer. I can make follow-ups. If you want to ask me shit on TikTok, I have a TikTok. That's at Thank You Momo. Every single fucking thing I use at Thank You Momo. Please hit me up. Check out my songs, man. What the fuck? Check out my songs, dude. I'm just kidding. But yeah, check out my songs. What the fuck, dude? Dude, all this, you're not gonna listen to my fucking songs, dude? That's fucking cringe. Check that out. Yeah, that's the tutorial. So that when you want to export a US file, export wave. Very important. Making sure it's a wave, or you can use whatever the fuck, like a fucking FLAC. FLAC is okay too, it's lossless. Wave, don't ever fucking export as MP3. You feel me? Quit the fucking YouTube to MP3 shit, you know what I'm saying, for your beats. Unless you really broke, and you know what I'm saying, you just want to express yourself. But you know what I'm saying, you're gonna be making some fucking sad ass music or depressing ass music. You feel me? Cause you're not, you know what I mean, your pockets, not your pockets. Just you're not a pro yet. When you're a pro, you should kind of turn vibey, cause it's like, yo, I can do it all. This is a fucking playground. You feel me? Digital audio workspace, more like play place. You feel me? Dap me up. Yeah. Yeah, that's basically it, man. Hopefully this shit about some fucking value. I'm gonna be editing this shit as soon as I stop recording, upload it. Let me know what other videos you guys want to see on my channel, man. I'm trying to have some timeless content. You feel me? I'm trying to have some shit where it's like, yo, this shit helps no matter who the fuck, whenever the fuck. You feel me? Yeah. Hopefully you enjoyed this shit. I'm gonna edit this shit. You know, play some Valorant maybe. You know what I'm saying? I used to stream on Twitch, but I could get back to that. If you guys want to see some gameplay, swagger, holla. I'll see you guys next time.